wanted to share a really fun video on how I made some little DIY nail art brushes or nail art brush holders for like seasonal use or just like seasonal decor in general for whatever you keep your nail stuff in. I usually just keep these little jars and place them onto my nail cabinet once I decorate them. So I'm actually using an apple cider jar for this, but you can of course I would assume that you could use a mason jar for this or anything like that. One thing I would definitely recommend doing though before you paint it is make sure that you clean it really thoroughly with soap and water. And I would definitely recommend if there's like a sticker or like a logo of something on it, I would make sure that you get that off and the sticky residue off just because I don't know if painting over that would be easy or difficult. So anyway, so the paint that I'm using for this is tempera paint, and this is not the same paint that I use for doing my own nails. I have multiple different types of paint for like crafting and things like that. I did not want to use the paint that I use for my nails as like the acrylic paint that I use for freehanding. I wanted to use the other stuff because the acrylic paint that I use for my nails, I that's like just for my nails at this point. This paint, I will be honest, it does take a little bit longer to dry than the other paint does. And in all honesty, that didn't really bug me. I also did not use any nail art like detail brushes for this. I just used some regular paintbrushes. It's like arts and crafts paintbrushes for this. And I went ahead and when I was drawing on each side of the jars, I turned it using the neck of the bottle, and what I did is I held it at like an angle so that the one side could dry while I moved to the other side. And you just obviously, when you do this, I would definitely recommend painting on a paper towel just to be on the safe side. I would not recommend letting the actual painted side touch or the wet paint side touch the paper towel because obviously that's going to like smudge and remove the paint. So I'm just going to be drawing on some really fun little Christmas things. I did show little tidbits of me painting the other ones, and I mostly focused on the Christmas one because we're obviously in the Christmas season now. And so, one other thing that I did want to do with this one, which was a little bit different than the one I made last year, I actually did something very similar to this for last year. I wanted to make sure that I actually sealed in the paint this time with something because I have a whole bag of like seasonal decor for my nail cabinet, and I had this jar in that bag and I had no sealer over it to protect the paint. And so when I went to use it this year, um, the paint was actually chipped off quite a bit. And what I was able to do for anyone who is like, how do I get paint off a jar like this? One of those little like SOS little scrubby things that you can use for washing dishes. I used that with hot water and the paint came right off. So I would definitely recommend doing that. But this time around, like I said, I wanted to do something to seal it in, but have like a clear finish. So it obviously didn't, change the color of the bottle or change the design. And so I had my grandfather spray like a clear sealant on it. So far, it's doing so good. I haven't fully tested that out yet, but so far it's doing really good. So this was the one that I made for winter slash Valentine's Day. I did one for winter slash Valentine's Day, Christmas. I did spring slash Easter. I did Memorial Day, summer slash 4th of July, as well as fall slash Halloween. And I actually added some glitter nail polish to just the snowflakes on this. I wanted to see if it would give a really pretty little like sparkle, and I thought it turned out actually really, really cute. And on the rim of the bottle, one thing that I did do is I purposely put like twine on the Christmas one, which you'll see at the very end, as well as some little jingle bells. I, for each one of these little jars on the rim of the bottle, what I'm going to do is get some seasonal ribbon for each one. I'm obviously not going to do that right now because I don't need to do that right now. I'll wait until we get closer to those seasons before I do that. But you can decorate the rim of the bottles using stickers. You can do twine. You can do ribbon. You could probably do like pieces of fabric, whatever it is that you want to do. I personally prefer ribbon just because I think that ribbon is the easiest for me to work with. So this is what each of the bottles look like once I had them fully decorated. I thought they were really, really cute. And one thing you could also do if you didn't want to use this as like a nail or brush holder, you could actually just put some very tiny little string lights inside of the container, which is what I plan to do with them. And that'd be really, really pretty, especially at night. That'd be really pretty. So this is what each of the jars look like, and this is what they look like once I had the sealant spray on them. The sealant spray that I used, it took like we let it dry overnight and it was perfectly fine. But I was just showing what each of the little jars look like with that sealant spray on it. I thought these all turned out really, really cute and I was really happy with them. So now I'm going to go ahead and show how I decorated the rim of the bottle of the Christmas one, which was obviously like the main focal point of this video because we're in the holiday season. So I actually just took some twine and I had to super glue the twine onto the neck of the bottle so I could wrap it around. This, I will be honest, on this particular day, I had a really hard time with the glue because it would not dry. It was really weird, and I kept gluing my fingers to the bottle, which I was not happy about. So I'm just going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to glue the end piece of the twine. And then I took a separate piece of twine and I tied a bow around it so that it kind of had like a woodland type look. I love when people do that for the holidays. I think it's really, really pretty. And like I said, I added some jingle bells, which were attached using some twist ties that they came with. And that was it for this video. This was really fun to do and a cute little project.